following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome into a Thursday edition, October 13th of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, on this beautiful Thursday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here as we get you set for some preps. Prep Thursday. Preps and PREDS.
We have from preps to pros. I mean, as you talk about how beautiful it is outside, it certainly does not feel like hockey season.
No. Well, I mean, it is 72, so you're like, okay, it might be getting there. And by tonight, when the sun goes down, it will definitely feel like hockey season.
All right, Kenny Chesney. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But just going to tell you, it's going to be a fantastic day. We've got a great show lined up for you. Jeff Williams, who is the CULLEOKA girls soccer coach, will join us, and his team is in the middle of a district battle, and they've punched their ticket to the region by making the district championship, but they are on an absolute tear this season, still unbeaten on the year, which is exciting for them. Also, Pete Weber is going to join us, the radio voice of the Nashville Predators. He will be on with us about 2:30, and then of course we'll get you our high school football picks. We'll talk about the Braves. We'll do all of that and much more here on this show. But before we get into it, I guess I have a top story, Mo, but we have a top story.
A top story.
Yeah, I think we should probably just mention to all of our viewers how much we appreciate them.
Yeah,
because thanks to you guys and nobody else. I mean, I voted once, and I'm sure you did too, Mo. But 2 votes didn't get us here. So thanks to all of you who voted in the Nashville Scene's Best of Nashville awards. Because of you, we just add another trophy to the pile. Mo Patton named Best Sports Writer in Nashville. So y'all give him a hand. Yay! I don't have any buttons, but
what is up with that? Why don't we
need
have
some
buttons
for like claps
and other such things?
Yeah, that's okay. But also, because of you guys, this show here was the number 2 best sports talk show or podcast in Nashville.
Best sports podcast officially, I guess. So.
Well, I don't. 3HL and
yeah.
Robbie and Rick are
sports shows.
Yeah, so it is best sports show or podcast. We are number 2 behind the sore losers, and like I said last night, now I'm a sore loser.
Don't be a sore loser. I'm
second place is pretty good.
Yes, second best in this market in particular. There's a lot of good work being done.
Oh, no doubt.
Around here, and for us to be
even in the same breath
mentioned in the top 4, particularly with 3HL. I've always had a lot of respect for Brent Doherty and Don Davenport and Mickey Ryan and their show, and Robbie and Rexroad. I mean, obviously Joe Rexroad is a friend of the show.
Maybe that's why, Mo. Maybe that's why we were second, because we have Rexroad on so much. That's what it is.
But,
no,
I have to say I am not terribly familiar with the Sore Losers podcast, but apparently it includes guests from or includes members of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Bobby Bones Show,
which is quite popular.
Yes.
So
I mean, it's popular enough that it literally affects country music charts and stardom. And if you get on that show, so yeah, the people on that show have pretty big following. So I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will take it. And so thank you guys once again. We appreciate you for making us.
And congratulations to Ray, Lunchbox, and Eddie.
See, it's because we don't have cool nicknames. We need to have cooler nicknames. Lunchbox? Are you kidding me? Gotta figure that out.
we might have to listen to sore losers and kind of
Just-
see what's up.
Yeah, what makes you guys so great now?
Yeah.
Seriously. But no,
I asked the guy, "Why are you so fly?"
he said Funky Cole Medina.
Yeah.
I mean,
That should have been an iconic lyric.
What would this show be without Tone Loc drops? I mean, just random Tone Loc drops. That's why we're here, to bring you
I'm here for the Tone Loc. Yeah,
bring you the most random music.
Music and food.
drops
We've not done a
and-
lot of food recently,
We've
but
not
music and
done.
food
Yeah,
references. Yeah,
we might have to fix that on the food side.
Hmm.
So anyway, let's get into it here. We've got some results to get to, and I say results. We have 2 results to get to, and
and some schedules.
today's rather lengthy schedule. So let's go ahead and get right into it as we get you to today's rundown here on.
Last night, the San Diego Padres beat their National League Divisional Series with the Los Angeles Dodgers, winning 5-3 after losing 5-3 in Game 1. So that series is now tied 1 apiece as they go to Petco Park in San Diego tomorrow. Also, the Braves got off the mat with a 3-0 win over the Phillies that was delayed extensively because of rain. But even that series, it goes back to Philadelphia for Game 3 tomorrow. High school football tonight, all 7 o'clock kickoffs. Hillwood is at Creekwood. Sequatchie County is at Giles County. Marshall County is at Glencliff. Laverne is at Overton. Republic is at Mount Juliet. Whites Creek travels to Trousdale County, and FCA is at Zion Christian in 8-man play. Again, all 7 o'clock starts.
Volleyball tonight at 6 o'clock. Zion Christian hosting Lighthouse Christian of Antioch just before that football game. So they're just going to have everybody on campus at one time. Good for them and smart. When you leave the volleyball match, just head on right out to football.
There you
That's
go.
a good deal. It's 7 o'clock tonight. Brentwood will host Station Camp while Houston goes to Clarksville. Cleveland's at home against Oakland. Collierville hosting Dixon County. Lawrence County goes to Creekwood, and Summertown's at Harpeth. Ravenwood will be at Hillsborough, while Lebanon hosts Bradley Central, and Loretto at home against Camden Central. It's Sycamore at Murfreesboro Central Magnet. East Robertson goes to Sale Creek. It's a tough region match right there. Goodness gracious. And Eagleville is at Watertown.
In girls soccer action this evening, as we mentioned, Huntland is at Cullleoka at 6 o'clock. Also at 6 o'clock, Wilson Central is at Mount Juliet. Watertown is at Smith County. Fairview travels to Sycamore. At 7 o'clock, Station Camp is at plays Gallatin, and East Hickman plays Cheatham County. Independence Academy is at Merrill Hyde at 7. Grace Christian of Franklin goes to Nashville Christian at 7. Also at 7, Murfreesboro Central is at Page, and Stewart's Creek plays Siegel. And White House plays Liberty Creek at a time unknown to us.
In Major League Baseball action today, it will be right now. Not right now, but
Not yet.
soon, very soon. Mariners will be at the Astros. It's 2:37 first pitch on TBS. Houston leads that series 1-0. The Guardians and Yankees are postponed. So that should be interesting. Don't know what that means.
Yankees
for-
lead that series 1-0 though. So Game 2 will be tomorrow, maybe, which was supposed to be a travel day for them.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
In NHL action tonight, the Nashville Predators are at home in their season opener against the Dallas Stars. So,
Actually, it's not their season opener. You know, they played those 2 global series, but it's their home opener for
do those
sure.
count?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, they're 2-0. Who knew?
Did not realize that.
There you go.
See, this is great.
TIL.
Today I learned. That's right. Well, home opener, 7:30 tonight. It's on ESPN Plus or Hulu. So I don't think it's on Bally tonight. So if you want to watch it and you don't have Bally, like me, you can watch it. And in NBA preseason action, the Grizzlies are at Detroit. That's a 6 o'clock tip on NBA TV.
In college football action tonight, Baylor is at West Virginia, Big 12 tilt, 6 o'clock on FS1 and on ESPN. Temple is at Central Florida. Also in NFL Thursday night action. Goodness gracious. The Commanders are at Soldier Field against the Bears. 7:15 kickoff on Amazon Prime. Find something else to do.
Literally anything.
Anything.
Watch the PREDS.
Come on out to CULLEOKA.
That's a much better option. Well, Mo, again, we've got a lot to get to today, and we're going to get to it here very quickly. We do have a top story I wanted to touch on before we get too far gone, and that is Dan Snyder.
Speaking of the Commanders,
is an absolute madman. I mean, listen, if I'm going down, ship's going down with me. Like, I mean, he ain't playing.
everybody gonna do time.
Yeah, if you're coming after me, I'm coming after you. Apparently, according to an ESPN story today, Dan Snyder allegedly hired private investigators to investigate Roger Goodell and every other owner in the National Football League to find dirt in the event that they tried to force him out as owner of the Commanders. That included his longtime ally, Jerry Jones. So, dirt not hard to find on Jerry. So,
I bet. I mean,
Jerry just kind of puts his stuff out there. He don't.
That
care.
is true. He's not trying to hide a whole lot of anything.
I got $1 billion. Like, do what you want to try. You could try. I mean, he's not real worried. I'm just gonna be honest.
He's really not. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario. Okay, you're gonna make me sell the Cowboys.
Darn.
To who?
who's got enough money to buy it? So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I think this is a crazy story, man.
It is, but I mean, did we not know that Dan Snyder was a madman?
Oh no,
I mean, this just kind of this confirms it more than reveals it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not shocked.
Didn't necessarily see this particular bombshell
event
coming,
but yeah, not surprised. Not surprised.
There you go.
Which, to me, is all the more reason to make him sell his team.
You got to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, and he apparently has something on somebody.
I'm sure he does.
According to his, his private conversations that were revealed in this sourced article.
Mm-hmm.
So anonymously sourced, by the way. Surprise. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, what a unique situation.
Well, what a shock. There's dirt on other NFL owners.
Yeah, no, we're not surprised. Nobody's surprised here. No, they're just not. Yep. So we'll go from pros to preps, Mo, because we'll get on the other side of this break. Jeff Williams will join us and talk about his CULLEOKA girls soccer team. It's going to be a fantastic match tonight, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking to him. So you guys stick with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after these short messages from our friends from across Southern Middle Tennessee and beyond. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731. 888-5731 and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Of course, it was the end of the song, right? It's just how it goes. Welcome back in.
Around here, anyway.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, and we'd give him titles, but he's got too many at this point, so we just call him Mo. And he's fine with that, trust me. But so glad to be with you here as we are on our high school Thursday edition, mostly preps.
Some pros,
but mostly preps. High school football predictions coming your way in the second hour here at 3 o'clock. So top of the hour, be looking out for that. But first, let's get into a little high school sports as we hand out some hardware. We've got some hardware to hand out. We might as well do it right now. So we'll start with our In to Win Life Southern Middle Tennessee Team of the Week.
Our team of the week this week is, as it is every year about this time, the Summertown Girls Golf Team, which for the 5th year in a row has won a state championship. Defeated Kingston by 3 strokes last week, I guess, last Monday and Tuesday specifically, up at Sevierville. So they won the state championship. It was the 5th time in either Class A or small class, depending on what year it was. Harley Campbell finished for the 4th year in a row.
Yeah, that girl from Gordonsville was good.
That girl from Gordonsville, Sophie Linder, won it for the 4th year in a row. She's a senior. She's heading to Ole Miss, and the Campbell family will probably be buying her a graduation gift.
We'll see y'all next time.
So
on the other side.
Yeah. So good luck
Where'd
at
you say she's headed?
Good luck at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, congratulations to the Summertown Lady Eagles for once again winning state golf championship.
And the MTBJ Southern Middle Tennessee Athlete of the Week, staying in Summertown Golf.
Staying in Summertown Golf, sophomore Cole Campbell shot a 2-day 141, finishing 2 strokes ahead of Signal Mountain's Peyton Ogle to win the Class A Boys Individual Championship.
Congrats to Cole.
Absolutely. Finished in the top 7 both as an 8th grader and as a freshman, and brought home the big honors this time around. So congrats to him, our MTBJ Athlete of the Week this week.
And now we go to Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe, our friends out in Chapel Hill, Renee Hart. And man, that great team out there just keeps you fed, keeps you happy all the time. Don't forget to go see them, From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. We bring in now CULLEOKA girls soccer coach Jeff Williams. Coach, what's going on?
Nothing. Just waiting on game time, I reckon.
Waiting on game time. The waiting is the hardest part, I would imagine, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. 6 o'clock first touch for CULLEOKA and Huntland out in CULLEOKA tonight for the District 10A championship. CULLEOKA 14 games, 12 wins, 2 ties. No losses.
0 losses.
0 losses. Nil. Niet. None. Coach, how, as you've watched this team this year, how impressive is that for you?
I mean, we've really we concentrate a lot on, defense and controlling the ball, controlling the field. Got a lot of shutouts, haven't given up a lot of goals. And, I told them last year, when we started that defense wins games, and, you can't lose if the other team doesn't score. So it's,
True.
There you go. I mean, it's an amazingly simple approach. Not many people are able to execute it, though. So congratulations to y'all for being able to do that. I mean, as you said, not giving up a lot of goals. I think 9 all year. So 9 goals in 14 games. That's like you said, that's going to make it pretty hard to lose. So yeah. That defensive effort, Jeff, what do you attribute that to? Who's been key for you back there on that back line?
I mean, all of them have. I mean, the Norton twins, they play center back. They communicate really well, and they run the field really well. And then, the outside backs, Kylie Williams and Sawyer Davis, they're fantastic on the attack. I know they've scored several goals this year between the two of them. And, Esmeralda Rivera in the middle, she kind of cleans up everything, and she passes the ball really well. Just all of them, like, from the back all the way to the front. We don't really have any weaknesses.
Again, 12-0-2 this year. You guys advanced to the Class A state sectionals last year. Finished up 5-7-3, I believe. Did you see anything last year over the off season that made you feel like you guys could be as dominant as you've been to this point this time around?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much kept the same team. We gained some good freshmen. Got 2 freshman starters this year that are huge. I think the more a team plays together and the more consistency that you have, you game in, one day to the next and everything, you start passing the ball without thinking about it. The off-ball movement, people get there without thinking about it, and it just makes you faster. They don't change a lot of stuff around because, if it was working, there's no reason to. So they're, I mean, just the unity of the team, the way they kind of can. I don't know. They just kind of know what the other one's going to do before they do it. That helps a lot.
Coach, when you look at this season and you look back at where you guys have come from, this is a team that has kind of grown up together. And how much of the teamwork and their ability to kind of know what each other is going to do, how much has that been a factor in this season's success?
I think it's a huge thing. Most of the girls play travel together or have played travel together at some point. I've coached several of them in travel in the past, and they've all grown up playing together, in rec ball, and it shows. I mean, it's hard to get a group like that, especially at a small school like we are.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with that is you guys, obviously one of the handful of unit schools in the entire state, you guys have a unique sense of community in Cullleoka. And for those of you who don't know how to say it, that's how you say it. It's Cullleoka. And just like it's spelled. But that sense of community and that pride in playing for your community has to play into this as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think the girls, they want to go out there and prove something. We did really well last year. I don't really know that anybody expected us to. And I didn't really expect us to do as well as we have this year. I'm glad to see it. I want it as bad for them as they want it for themselves. It's really a good group.
And that's got to make it a lot of fun, I would think, for you, Jeff. Jeff Williams, the girls' soccer coach at Cullleoka, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. The Lady Warriors taking on Huntland in tonight's District 10A championship game. Again, that first touch is at 6 o'clock out at Cullleoka. Regardless of the outcome here, y'all will advance to the region semifinals. Are those Monday or Tuesday? Do you know?
I believe it's Tuesday.
Tuesday. A win tonight and you'd host
I believe
a loss which hasn't happened all year, so not necessarily any reason to do it now, but would put you on the road. So, home has been good to you guys this year.
Yeah, I think actually everywhere has been pretty good for us this year.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, Jeff, we appreciate it, man, and good luck to y'all tonight. We'll see you here in a bit, and keep it rolling.
All right, I hope so. Thank you.
Into the net, they hope.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. That is Coach's Corner presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. Thanks to Jeff Williams and CULLEOKA for hanging out with us today. Again, it's going to be a fantastic match tonight. You'll be there. So if you're looking for something to do, come on out. But make sure to bring a jacket. That's all I'm going to tell you. Bring a jacket.
Bring it. Not necessarily wear it, but yeah,
you might
bring
need it.
You may need it at some point.
All right, we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, Pete Weber standing by.
Speaking of nets.
Speaking of nets and scoring, and hopefully no scoring on the part of the opponents. Yeah, we've got Pete Weber, the voice of the Nashville Predators, coming up right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. So you guys stick around with us. We'll be right back after this.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao. He's Mo Patton, and we are glad to be with you here on this Thursday edition of Main Street Sports Today, the second best sports podcast or sports show in the Nashville market, as voted on by you, the readers. That's what we're going to do with the almost award-winning sports show.
Won an award?
Yeah,
second place.
Award.
Second's an award.
And this, I mean,
and we're going to take it.
There's no question. No question. Oh, man. Well, Mo, I can't believe hockey season is back. It seems like just yesterday we were talking to Pete Weber about the playoff series and
that loss out in Colorado.
And now he's back.
He's back. Just when you thought it was safe.
Just when you thought it was safe.
Pete, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good. I've got my sleep rhythms close to being normal now after the trip to Prague and before that to Switzerland. So I'm only waking up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the mornings now, wide awake and not able to sleep anymore.
But you got some stamps on the old passport. So that's
yes,
good.
I did. Yes, I did. And somebody was kind enough, and Mo, it was not you, but somebody really got me energized the other day here after coming back home, sending me a video of Harry Carey doing an advertisement for Mexican food. And I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. And Harry, Mexican food, and Budweiser, what greater combination could one come up with?
Harry, who you've got up on the top shelf up there over your left shoulder there. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Can't beat him. Old Illinois guy, you gotta. So I mean, Harry's in his pantheon for sure. So you went over to Prague, you went over to Switzerland, and as the Sounds play their home opener tonight, they are undefeated in regular season NHL play.
Yeah, but it is the Predators and not the Sounds.
I didn't even catch it because I'm just so used to it being the Sounds.
My bad.
No.
Pete, have you looked outside today?
Yes, I have. I've been outside. I just got back in the house, as a matter of fact.
It does not look like hockey weather, so I'm sorry, I'm not there.
Let me tell you, it wasn't hockey weather in Prague either. It was 70 degrees at ice level in Prague there. So if people saw crazy bounces of the puck, that pretty much explains it.
The Predators are undefeated in NHL play tonight at 2-0.
And the Sounds are also undefeated in NHL play.
Yes, they've not lost yet.
They've never lost.
Never won either, right? Yeah. Kind of quirky schedule looks like, Pete, because you guys play Dallas tonight, 7:30 at Bridgestone, and then you turn right around and play at Dallas on Saturday at 7.
Right. There are many quirks in this, though, Mo, because Tuesday night we host the Los Angeles Kings, and because of national television coverage, here's a regular season game in Nashville, Tennessee, that will not start until 8:30 on Tuesday night.
I can tell you.
Going to be a lot of school kids at that one, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's going to be without any question, that's going to be the night that we all have to write excuses for the youngsters for the next day.
Can we just get David Poyle to write one and sign it so that they can just pass it?
Just pass them out
as
there you go.
That may be the play.
We should scan it, yes, and email them out.
That would be even better. Save some trees. The second floor at AJ's at Alan Jackson's Good Time Bar will be live.
Yeah.
For an 8:30 puck drop. Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
There'll
People will have plenty of time to get there from work. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, yes. Yeah. But maybe not have as much time thereafter to make it into work on Wednesday.
No doubt. Pete, what did you see out of this team on the European swing that you like heading into tonight's opener?
Saw the 3 newer players on the team, and there are actually more than that. But, Ryan McDonough on defense, and then going with some youngsters in the lineup that all contributed. And then there was Nino Niederreiter, who was somewhat overlooked going back home to Switzerland for himself. But he's now on pace to score 123 goals this year. Now, don't we like that on pace too? We did that, of course, throughout the season with the home run count for a certain Yankees outfielder. Here come the judge. And we do that all the time. It's just a horrible temptation, I think, for any of us who particularly grew up as baseball fans. But Nino Niederreiter was a perfect complement to his former junior hockey teammate, Ryan Johansson, and he did outstanding. The beast line with Colton Sissons centering for Yakov Trenin and Tanner Jeannot was there on a regular basis, getting involved as the way they usually do, playing a physical game, a game that emphasizes puck possession and brutality. If you were trying to take any liberties with the Predators, they will hit you and hit you very solidly. So let's just see how that all plays out. Kiefer Sherwood got the first goal of the season in the game number 1 in Prague, and he played extraordinarily well. And then it looked like Eli Tolvanen might be the guy that's going to take his spot and juggle the lines a little bit going into tonight's true, if you will, season opener.
I was very concerned. I didn't know. I was like, wait, it's not season opener. I didn't know what to expect. So I'm glad that glad we got that figured out, because I was unaware. Mo set me straight. But
me setting somebody straight on hockey. Go figure.
Hey, we'll take it. Pete, one of the things that a lot of folks had some issues with. Obviously, we dealt with trying to get Philip Forsberg re-signed.
Mm-hmm.
That all worked out in the end. Is this team primed for an actual run, or is this going to be more competitive rebuild, or maybe slowly moving back up into that top echelon of the NHL?
It may be gradual moving up. I don't think it's anymore the competitive retooling or rebuilding, or however you want to put it. But this might be, at this stage, with everybody all hands on deck healthy, might be the best Predators team that they've had in 4 or 5 years. And I know that's tall cotton, but that's the way it looks right now to me.
That's good to hear, because I was, I just didn't know. I know we've got a lot of young kids. That's
Yes.
like you said, you just mentioned it. There are a lot of young kids on this team. And if the Predators are going to be successful, they're going to have some production out of those young players.
Yes, they are, without any question whatsoever. And if they get just a little bit of it from what the sample size gave them in the Czech Republic, or I call it that because I have a difficult time saying Czechia, which is the way they're saying it over there now. But that was a lot of fun for me to observe.
Now, in goal, obviously, you say Soros is the guy, but last year we saw him perhaps get a little fatigued over the length of the year. What is the backup goalie situation, and is it something that Preds fans should be worried about, or can they feel comfortable occasionally getting 74 out of goal?
Let's put it this way. I feel comfortable with Kevin Lankinen. He played very well throughout training camp and the preseason games, and he played, I think, very well in game number 2 in Prague on Saturday afternoon, Nashville time. So I think they are probably much better off than they were a year ago. Not to cast any aspersions on Dave Riddick, but they had to play UC as much as they did last year because they knew they needed him in there to make sure they even made the playoff field.
And that's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, it is.
And because it just felt like you were kind of grinding UC down, and I think it kind of looked that way as things played out. So
plus he had the injury late. So
and that's the thing is, I'm not allowed to go to any more Preds games because I've been to 2 regular season games, both of them against Calgary. We lost the first one in overtime, and we lost this one when we lost UC. So I'm not allowed back, at least when we're playing Calgary. Maybe I can go to some other ones. We'll test the waters.
Okay. Well, I'll be happy. I'll welcome you in either case. Now, was the Calgary overtime loss, was that the one where Tkachuk scored that between the legs goal?
You know what? I think it was.
I believe it was
17 or 18.
Yeah,
because that was the game that the Braves trophy was at.
No, that was last year's game was. I don't know if that was the between the legs goal, but that's when UC got hurt was last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then the overtime game was, I want to say, in the 17-18 season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
it was even pre-COVID.
Yes, it was. So I've seen us play Calgary twice. I've seen us get beat by Calgary twice. I'm tired of Calgary.
Well, we have 30 other teams that you can see.
Let's we'll try some others and see what happens, Pete. But
Pete, want to ask you before we let you go. Were you surprised Philip Tomasino did not break camp with the big club?
I can't say that I was in on any inside conversations with the Brain Trust, but since he did not play much the last few preseason games, that can't surprise me because that meant they were looking at someone else at that point in time. I thought you were going to ask me if I was surprised at how well Albert Pujols played after the All-Star break in the home run derby.
None of us.
I have to think you were.
I don't know if surprise says it all.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked but very happy, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that at various points on the show as he was starting to close in on 700. You felt like you were getting to a situation where he was going to come up with like 698 at the end of the season
and say, I'm coming back.
Yeah. Which really, I don't know if anybody in St. Louis wanted that,
including Albert.
I don't think I did. And Albert was very honest with it. I think with about a month ago in this season, saying that no, he would not come back for numbers, but he didn't have to. As it turned out, he did such a great job concluding his regular season playing career.
That was pretty amazing. It really was. As is the voice of the Nashville Predators, Pete Weber, who joined us on pretty short notice today. Once we realized that
it wasn't that short.
Well, I'm glad you didn't think so. But we appreciate you spending some time with us. Again, the Predators open the home portion of their season tonight at Bridgestone Arena against the Dallas Stars, 7:00 puck drop. Pete, appreciate your time, man.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody gets a special nap because we have a later start tonight, 7:37. And as I alluded to earlier, Tuesday will be at 8:37. So maybe you're going to need a nap on Tuesday afternoon.
Well, I probably will need. I'll take a nap whether I need one or not.
And I'll always take a nap. Goodness gracious!
I'm for naps. Naps are good. But
I'm in total agreement with the two of you there.
Yeah,
we appreciate you, man. As always, thanks so much. We will talk to you again soon.
Okay, hope so. Thank you.
All right, that is the voice of the Nashville Predators, Pete Weber, and we
7:30 start tonight. 7:37 to be exact.
Coming out of the sky.
I'm
going to take you up to heaven on a midnight ride. That's 7:47. I get confused. It's all in.
Stop it.
It's 7s and 7s. I don't know.
Stop it.
We've got Braves chatter coming up on the other side of a break, so we're going to take one right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. You guys stick around with us. We'll be right back after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
You're asking me?
So?
I mean, it makes sense, but
Probably.
I couldn't answer that with any certainty.
Little xylophone action there. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as we get into, of course, our daily Braves chatter. Chatter, 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 swing. Batter, batter.
Hey, batter. Hey, batter. Hey, batter.
Two things real quick. Number one, glad to know that Ronald Acuna Jr. is good to go. No structural damage on the elbow.
Structurally, he's okay. Bet he's got one heck of a bruise, though.
He's probably got a heck of a bruise, and he's probably going to have a long memory on that one. I know it wasn't.
Couldn't have been.
It wasn't intentional, you don't think, but as perfect as he had been pitching to that point, I mean.
Okay, let me ask you. I get it, but what purpose would it have served if it were?
No, none. Which is why it wasn't intentional.
Yeah,
but
I mean, there were 2 outs.
2 outs. You don't want to give the Braves any kind of momentum because you'd only thrown 54 pitches to that point.
And you definitely did.
And
because
54 pitches to 75 pitches, and you're out of the game.
Yeah, because you go hit batter, walk, scorched single, RBI, dribbler, RBI, CNI single, RBI.
You've lost the game.
And you've lost the game. So, I mean, whatever, if it was on purpose, whatever it was you were intending to accomplish, you did not.
No, unless it was to let the Braves win in your hometown. And I can't imagine that was it.
I can't imagine Zach Wheeler is that big a Braves fan at this point. So
I tell you, man, he was insane up until that hit batter.
But Kyle Wright wasn't much less.
Kyle Wright was also insane.
Yeah, I mean, he had given up a couple of base hits and that kind of thing, but, you know, managed to stay away from trouble. Bryce Harper advanced to third in the first inning?
No, second.
Second inning. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
he led off with a double.
Mm-hmm.
Got to third on a sac fly.
And
from Real Muto.
Technically, that's not a sac fly, but yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a productive
out. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
but Real Muto gets charged with an at bat, unfortunately. But yeah. Yeah, Wright was right there with Wheeler all night.
You know what? I'm gonna challenge the system. Why is a bunt a sacrifice, but a fly ball is not?
Unless it's an RBI, that's a good question. And as someone who has scored, been the official scorer for organized baseball, it's a fair question. It's a valid question. It's a question I've asked, but I mean, that's the rules.
I understand. I think we should change the rules.
Let's
change the rules.
I don't know how easily those rules are changed, but yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know why moving a guy from first to second
because it's an obvious attempt.
Maybe because a sac fly could easily be a home run.
Yeah.
With a few more feet.
Sure. So perhaps it's the intent.
Maybe.
Anyway.
See, maybe you just answered your own question.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I think if I hit a fly ball that's deep enough to move a runner over, I should get the same benefit as if I
as if you bunted.
7 feet.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's not what this is about. But you know, Kyle Wright, we had lost 3 of the last 4. A lot of folks forget that we lost 2 in Miami. We only won 1 baseball game in Miami. We'd lost 3 of the last 4.
It's the only one we had to win.
I understand that. I understand. But we've said it all year long. Kyle Wright, stopper.
8-3 after Braves losses this season.
He's as good as anybody could have been in that moment. And when you look back at the thought process of Brian Snitker, you know that had to play into the fact that, you know, he felt comfortable going to Kyle Wright in game 2, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, regardless of what happened in game 1. Yeah. It's a heck of a point. And again, kudos to this bullpen.
My goodness, were they not just
Mentor,
fantastic?
Iglesias, and Jansen were nails last night, and
if you take
one of those 3 guys we have come to expect that from.
If we take August out of Jansen's entire season, that guy's been lights out. Something happened. I don't know if it was just the dog days of the summer heat and the just the humidity getting to him, and he was just tired, or what happened. Maybe it was, not understanding what to do with the sweat that he was.
It might have been a mechanics thing too. He might have just kind of lost something somewhere there, but he got it back.
Whatever he did, he's got it back, and I am looking forward to it.
Man, they mentioned on the broadcast last night, he led the majors with 41 saves. He also led the majors with 7 blown saves. But, it's kind of like the old line about 20-game losers. You got to be pretty good to blow 7 saves, because you're not going to get that many opportunities.
Yeah, after 4, most people would be finding themselves in the 6th inning on long relief or something.
Well, especially when you've got Iglesias sitting out there.
Or you find yourself in the 7th inning, as AJ Minter does these days.
You know,
and I'm not mad. I'm just saying that AJ Minter wasn't necessarily closer material 3 years ago.
I tell you what, he's got a lot of time to get back to that
but I
point.
think he can be. Absolutely, I think he can be. There's no question there. But 3 years ago, he didn't have that. We had to go get somebody, and they did. So,
and credit to Anthopoulos for realizing that and acting accordingly.
So, you just get, this organization really. And here's the thing: is it feels like these players are very open. I mean, Will Smith was open to bringing in Kenley Jansen.
Whatever's going to make us better.
Whatever gets the ring at the end of the year. And
quite nice rings.
They are. And that's the thing is, you're looking at this from a team standpoint. And that's one thing that I think separates the Braves from a lot of organizations is a lot of organizations, and the Dodgers too, they play for the team more than they play for themselves. There aren't a lot of individuals. Now, they have great individual players, but each individual player is still working toward whatever's best for the team, or at least they have the mindset of, I want to do what's best for the team. Sometimes they're wrong on what is best for the team.
I think when you look at a team like the Dodgers, they have to be like that because look at all the talent, look at all the guys, and look at what those guys have done. And for some of those, Cody Bellinger, batting 8th or not playing at all, that kind of thing. Look at the back of his baseball card, as they like to say.
And it really goes back to kind of the 90s Bulls. The 96 Bulls with Rodman and Pippen and Kukoc, who had just, Steve Kerr, Jordan. It just felt like there were nothing but massive individual stars on that team, and yet they were able to play for one reason, for one thing. They were moving all in the same direction. And when you've got talented players and players that talented moving in the same direction, it's an unstoppable force.
There you go.
And it was last night as well. I want to show some highlights here. Kyle Wright there is the Huntsville, Alabama native, by the way. Jacksonville State will be playing UNA in Huntsville at Toyota Field on Saturday.
Played at Buckhorn, right?
Yes, he was a
Buckhorn Buck.
Yes. We won't get into that. But Kyle was fantastic. Got out of a couple of jams, was able to do that. Of course, again, we talked about how great Zach Wheeler was. He had been dominating the Braves all year long. And outside of that, outside of getting that final out, he was 1 out away from continuing to be almost perfect. I mean, you see Dansby Swanson strike out there. Nobody could catch up. Nobody could figure out. And all he was doing was throwing heat by people, just throwing it by you. Didn't care. And then, of course, Bryce Harper, I'm going to give Bryce Harper all the credit in the world. But a little outside, but we'll take it. Schwarber was not happy with that call, as he shouldn't have been. But right here is that's what you get out of Kyle Wright. Just painting the corners. And that's why he got the call he got with Schwarber.
Right.
It's because he had been so perfect on the corners. Now, here we go. If this is not one of the most insane baseball plays I've ever seen.
Well, if it's not,
the next one is.
Then this one is. Yeah.
I mean, when you watch Dansby Swanson track this ball over his right shoulder and then straight up to come up with the basket catch diving, that's insane. And Kyle Wright knows it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And then in the bottom of the 6th here is Ronald getting absolutely drilled in the elbow. Took a long time to get him back to
there
where
was some
he
question
felt,
as to whether or not he was going to continue, obviously.
Except he said, what?
I've already missed one postseason. I'm not missing another.
So he said, we're good to go. I'm staying in. He was able to get out there, play defense, didn't have any issues.
I don't think he had a ball hit to him the rest of the way.
So we'll take that.
The baseball god's kind of looking out for him right there, I think.
No doubt. And then swinging the old hickory,
And hitting with the old hickory.
And hitting with the old hickory is Matt Olson, who sends a shot to first base that was not playable.
Hoskins couldn't come up with. Yeah, just smoked it.
And then this right here, the best dribbler of all time, as Dansby Swanson, you see, comes in to score as Austin Riley makes it earns the RBI. Just you could.
I think that run was huge.
And then Darno right here. Man, I was so pumped when Darno got that single because, I mean, he deserved it.
Well, and as folks like to say in the postseason, okay, here's the play.
Here's the play right here. I thought this was so far out of play. I was like, why are you even running?
Because.
And then boom.
And you got to realize, I mean, he had the tarp to contend with. He had the wall to contend with there.
As someone
and he snow coned it, and then he held on to it.
As someone who has tracked a foul ball and run into a wheelbarrow, that's not easy. I bet he had somebody telling him there was a tarp there, though. I did not have it warn me.
Thanks. Warning about the wheelbarrow.
I think I speak for everybody when I was like, what?
Who is that?
This is a random.
Just up out of nowhere. Here comes Justin. Yeah. Jansen closing it out.
74. That's a solid number for our fandom. UC Soros, Kenley Jansen. I'll take it. Braves again. Winners last night, 3-0 over the Philadelphia Phillies with a PH, not an F.
So we go back
not to West Philadelphia, though.
No.
Where anyone
born and raised.
No. But we will go to Philadelphia for games 3 and 4. Still no word on a game 3 starter, although I did see Martin Bowman just tweeted that Spencer Strider was available last night in the bullpen. They just didn't go to it.
You need to.
No, I'm just saying that he had apparently available out of the bullpen last night.
Mm-hmm.
They've not named a game 3 starter. Would you rather have Morton in a potential elimination game or Spencer Strider with you don't know how long you're going to get Spencer Strider in game 4?
I think I would rather have Morton in an elimination game than to have Morton in game 3.
I agree. I think you got to go Strider in 3.
Yeah.
Because in the event that he can't go more than 3 or 4 innings, you don't want to be facing a bullpen game in elimination.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's go Strider tomorrow. Let's win that one, and then let's let Charlie nail it down on Saturday.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Padres will elongate that series or even win it. But either way, I needed to go 5.
Mm-hmm. and maybe an extra inning game or 2.
Yeah, that
just for good measure.
Certainly wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Burn some bullpen arms.
Yeah.
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Well played. Nice callback there, Mo. Nice callback. We're going to take another break here as we have high school football coming your way on the other side of it. So we'll be right back after these messages. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton coming to you on this Thursday, October 13th edition, and glad to be doing it. Hope you guys have had a fantastic start to your Thursday as the work day winds down, and we're getting ready for – there's some high school football tonight. There are plenty of volleyball and soccer matches you can find your way out to if you are so looking.
There's a few football games tonight as well,
As
we mentioned during the rundown.
That's right. And we're going to get to some of those football games here in just a few minutes as we get into our high school football pick'em from across the Main Street Preps coverage area. And, of course, you can find George Plaster, Zach Womble, Billy Derrick on Friday nights on Friday Night Live right here on the same places you get this show, whether it be your Main Street Media TV app on your Roku device, Apple TV, Fire Stick, iOS device if you download that app, or on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you may find us. So check that out. 6:30 to 11 o'clock. They've got all the scores and updates. And, of course, you can hear from all of these sports writers and folks who are covering games out on Friday nights, including most of the time Mo and myself. This week, I don't think I'll be on the list. It doesn't really have a lot of playoff implications, Franklin County and Spring Hill, so we'll see. That's okay. Where are you going to be Friday?
I am going to be in Chapel Hill for Richland and Forest, big Region 5 2A contest.
Which definitely has some playoff implications.
It does, because Richland can really take a big step toward a first-round home game, and Forest can take a big step toward securing a postseason spot. So, yeah, it's going to be a big one over there in Chapel Hill between the Rockets and the Raiders.
Looking forward to keeping up with that one for sure here in southern Middle Tennessee. And I hope you'll go out early enough to go see the folks at From the Heart Cafe.
I'm probably going as soon as we get off the air.
And dip right on over there.
Yeah.
You can find Mo at From the Heart in Chapel Hill if you're looking. if he didn't make the pick that you want him to make, he'll be at From the Heart Cafe around 4:30.
Oh, goodness.
Just FYI.
Throwing me under the bus there, aren't you?
Go buy him a piece of pie and tell him next time make a better pick. Or buy him a piece of pie and say, thanks for making the right pick. Your choice.
Your choice. Yeah.
It depends. All right, let's start with East Robertson. They travel to Westmoreland on Friday. And East Robertson having after that opening week loss to Macon County, I think they've been on quite the roll. Westmoreland pretty darn good too. This one should be a very, very good football game.
East Robertson is number 6 in the Class 2A Associated Press statewide poll this week. As you said, been playing some pretty good ball, and I'm expecting them to continue to do so. I took the Indians over Westmoreland 28-21.
I too took the Indians. I have 21-20, a very close game. And I'll tell you, I know he's been talking them up all year, but sometimes in these picks, I will certainly go see what the local sports writer has to say about it, just to see, if they've got a better feel for them than what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And Blaine Keller, who took the Indians by a point, kind of gave me the go ahead. So I took East Robertson.
So you got the Blaine Keller seal of approval on your pick.
Yeah,
then,
I do. That's what I was going. But he's been talking him up all year, man. Trying to get him into that MSP top 25, and so
it's interesting. Everybody seems to be picking this game close. My touchdown margin seems to be the widest of anybody. As you look, both Blaine and Monty Hale each picked it a 1-point game. Monty and you both picked it by the same score, 21-20. Brady McAtamney has got East Robertson by a field goal. Tyler's got Westmoreland by 10.
Hey, it's a 17-point swing, buddy.
Okay.
Go on, Tyler.
Yeah, right. Donovan Stewart and Russell Vanazzi each have Westmoreland by a field goal, 24-21. Zach Womble has Westmoreland by 2 points, 12-10.
12-10.
12-10. Oof.
Must
That one, that's going to be a defensive slugfest. Huh? Okay.
We'll see.
Casey Patrick got East Robertson 31-27. And all of these picks, as we said, you can find on mainstreetpreps.com. So if you want to jump ahead or read along with us, feel free.
There you go. We go to Murfreesboro, Rockville at Blackman.
This one, I think, had a lot more cachet before Rockville's quarterback got hurt a couple of weeks ago. And
I would agree with that.
I think the Rockets have kind of dropped off a little bit since then. And this Blackman offense has been putting up points on pretty much everybody pretty much all year. I've got the Blaze in this one, 34-23.
Yeah, I also have the Blaze in this one. I've got them 38-24. Like you said, they're couple losses. They lost to Nolensville 49-21, and I think that's the game in which their quarterback was injured. And then only put up 7 points last week against what I think to be at least a pedestrian Stewart's Creek team, losing 42-7. So I just don't feel like the Rockets have the firepower without their quarterback distributing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got Blackman in this one. Moving right along, little D2 action as Good Pasture goes to Davidson Academy. It's going to be an interesting football game. And Davidson Academy, as we've said all year long, is just really hard to nail down. I mean, they're 3-4, but they've played one of the toughest schedules.
Yeah, and so with that, I don't know if that 3-4 is a function of their schedule or if that's a function of them dropping off a little bit from the past 3 or 4 years. And
they've lost to Boyd Buchanan, Franklin Road Academy. They lost in that 59-51 shootout to Nashville Christian, and then to Lipscomb Academy 58-6. So I mean, and they beat BGA, drilled BGA actually. So it's like
I don't know.
We're 7 games into this season, and I still don't know how good Davidson Academy is.
Exactly. And I took Good Pasture just because I feel like they've been pretty consistently good over the course of the season, but I don't know.
Yeah, so Davidson Academy lost to Nashville Christian 59-51. Good Pasture beat Nashville Christian 14-12. So you figure that out.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's as up in the air as you could possibly be for a high school football game.
Yeah.
I took Good Pasture as well, but I don't necessarily feel good about it.
I don't feel good about it. Yeah. So I mean, it's where's the dartboard?
Yeah. Coin flips, all I got.
Yeah.
The next one I do feel pretty good about. I mean, and that's unfortunate because I wish this game was going to be more competitive than I think it's going to be. Look, Beach and Gallatin is a really good. These are two storied football programs, and fact is that Gallatin they're having a down year. That's just the facts. And
I don't know though, man. I'm gonna tell you. I feel like, and I know it's a cliche, but as we've said before, cliches are cliches for a reason. I think you throw the records out the window. Now, I think Beach is going to win this ball game, but I think Gallatin's going to play better than you think, and I think Gallatin's going to make it close. I've got Gallatin. I got Beach. 28-24. I think this is going to be a very entertaining ball game just because, along the same lines as Beach Hendersonville. I mean, I think when you get any of those Sumner County teams on the same field, those kids know each other. There's bragging rights are always on the line.
And Gallatin's at home.
And
they don't have to go to Shackle Island, which makes a difference.
It certainly has made a difference in years past, and I'm not telling you what I've heard. I'm telling you what I know because I've seen it. But I don't know that home field will necessarily be the difference in this ball game. But, again, I think Gallatin makes this game close. Again, I think Beach wins it. they may not even necessarily win it late. I mean, it might be Gallatin with a late touchdown to close it down. But I think this is going to be an entertaining ball game for 48 minutes.
Staying north, Pearl Cone at Greenbrier. Pearl Cone coming off an absolute offensive just onslaught last week.
Yeah, they played that Thursday night game against Marshall County last week. And is that right? Or was that 2 weeks ago?
That was last week, last Thursday.
Okay.
We had OC on last week.
They start to run together after a while.
The weeks
man.
Especially, man. At this point, I'm just, it is what it is.
So was it just last week that I was in Summertown on Thursday night? Loretta, rather? I don't know.
I have no idea.
At any rate, I think Pearl Cone has some momentum going. I think they won a really big game against Marshall County, and I think they can kind of sniff the finish line as the Region 5-4A race winds down. And I think they win this one. I think they win it pretty big, actually.
You've got 38-17. I've got 35-14. So you've got 2 field goals that I don't have. So same.
I don't know if I've got 2 field goals or if I've got a couple of missed extra points on somebody's part, or a few. No.
There you go. It could be any of those.
Yeah. But yeah, I like I said, I like Pearl Cone pretty big in this one. I think they've got some guys that are capable of making some big plays, and I think they do so. And as you look through here, that 3 touchdown margin seems to be pretty popular.
It does. 3 touchdowns seems to be about the margin that you'd expect. You look at what Greenbrier has done to this point, and I think this is a good football team.
I think they've been able to really hold some folks down defensively. I don't think this is a good matchup for their defense.
I would probably agree with that. This defense this will be the toughest test the defense has faced so far. There's no question there. In Southern Middle Tennessee, heading over to Sawyer Brown Road will be the Columbia Academy Bulldogs.
That's not an easy trip either, from here to there.
I know. I drove it every day for a year.
That's right. You did live out that way.
I lived on Sawyer Brown Road.
That's funny. Yeah.
I mean, literally, I drove there every single day for a year.
Did you leave some breadcrumbs for Seth Anderson and them for Friday?
They might need it, but if they don't have breadcrumbs, they should just stop at Mestizos Mexican restaurant on the way in or out, because it was the jam. It was the way to go. Yeah, Columbia Academy heading over to Nashville Christian, and losing Connor Rawson wasn't a good thing, but I do think, and I'll give Elisha Nieves has certainly stepped into that role and given them an opportunity to win most of the time.
I think that what Elisha Nieves doesn't necessarily give Columbia Academy is the running threat.
Correct.
That a bigger, sturdier Connor Rawson provided you. And so that's going to allow defenses to kind of key a little bit more on Monte Baldwin. And most defenses were already keying on him. So it's going to be tough for him to get his yardage, but it's going to give Nieves some opportunities in the passing game to make some plays, I think.
It is. And here's the thing. Look, I think this is a really interesting matchup, because I don't know a lot about Nashville Christian either. As I said, they lost to Good Pasture 14-12, but also beat Davidson Academy by 8 in a shootout. So, and when you look at Columbia Academy's schedule, it's not like they're 3-3 and their 3 losses are, head scratchers.
Well, and what doesn't show up in that 3-3 record of Columbia Academy is they were leading Jackson Christian 10-0 at halftime of a game that did not get completed because of rain and was declared a no contest. Excuse me. Jackson Christian is number 4 in the AP D2A poll at 5-1. I'm gonna tell you something. Jackson Christian was getting ready to lose that ball game if they had finished it.
Oh yeah, there's no zero question. Columbia Academy had the momentum. They were in control of the game. I mean, the only
sorry, it wasn't 10-0. It was
10-0
until they scored right before halftime.
An interesting clock adjustment allowed one more play,
and they took advantage.
And they threw a Hail Mary essentially to score. So Columbia Academy was in control of the football game on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
I mean, it could have just as well been 10-0 at halftime,
right,
but it was 10-7. Now, the 3 losses, Franklin Road Academy, no shame there. DCA, also no shame there.
Defending state champs.
And Boyd Buchanan, who just has the state's all-time winningest coach at their helm.
No big deal.
So then they come back after those 3 losses and just, put up points. Mount Juliet Christian, 51-8 win. And by the way, still the only blemish on Waverly's record.
Did not realize that.
So you
did not realize that Waverly, which is number 5 in 3A.
Yeah, 6-1 on the year.
And the one?
The one's Columbia Academy. So
in Waverly.
That's right, at Waverly. So look, and again, that was with Connor Rawson, but also Connor Rawson had not quite come into his own to that point either. This is an opportunity for Elisha Nieves and Monte Baldwin to really kind of put their stamp on Columbia Academy.
Yeah,
as a duo, because I think they can.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Nashville. I picked Nashville Christian to win this ball game, but I would not be surprised if CA finds a way to pull it out.
I've got Nashville Christian 27-20, so it's touchdown for me.
I've got Nashville Christian by 10, 27-17. But again, no, I think it's a winnable ball game for CA.
Absolutely. Station Camp and Portland. This, man, I'm telling you, Portland has been kind of they've been one of those teams that you can't get a hold on either. And
Station Camp is somewhat similar to that.
Yeah. They've got some wins that you don't necessarily think that you go, okay, Station Camp beat Gallatin, really?
Right.
Win over.
Now let me tell you something. There's a little underlying something because Station Camp's coach Brent Alexander played at Gallatin.
Well, and then early in the year, you thought, man, they just whipped Hillsboro. Now you didn't know that Hillsboro was going to be down a little, but you thought, man, okay, this Station Camp team's got some players. And then they lose to Wilson Central last week, and maybe that was coming off of that Mount Juliet loss, and there was something there. I don't know, but Wilson Central has certainly found their way back after a mundane start to the year.
Yeah, they beat White County.
They beat Station Camp. I mean, Wilson Central has quietly found themselves, despite being 3-5 on the year, controlling almost their entire destiny
in terms of
playoffs. So with Hillsboro, their only remaining region game on the schedule. So yeah, the Station Camp and Portland, to me, they're just kind of, you're not real sure what to expect.
I'm certainly not. I mean, I took the Bison 24-21 in this one, but again, where's the dartboard?
I've got Portland by a couple. I think being at home is the difference in this one. It's not easy to get to Portland. I've been there once. and so,
on purpose,
I did go on purpose. As a matter of fact, of course they paid me to go there, but I went.
That always helps.
It didn't hurt. So I've got Portland by 2, 26-24. Extra points or whatever, potentially safeties. I don't know. 26-24 just sounded like a fun number to put. Oakland coming off their first loss in 35 games or so, 36.
36. But who's counting?
Going to Riverdale, and you know the Warriors are going to be on another level.
The Warriors are going to be on another level. I think Oakland's probably going to be on another level as well.
This is not the place you want to be if you're Riverdale.
I don't think it is, but I think Riverdale has good enough talent. I think they've got good enough coaching, and I think this rivalry means enough that Riverdale is going to make a game out of this, even though Oakland comes into this really irritated and really focused. I think it's going to be another great ball game, I think.
Well, the entirety of the Mid-State can watch it, as it'll be the My TV 30 Friday Night Rivals for the Battle of the Borough.
Yeah, in fact, friend of mine, a guy I used to do a little work with, and former Vanderbilt defensive lineman Jared Morse will be the color commentator for that game, along with Max Hers. Apparently, regular color commentator Josh Corey, director of community relations for the Titans, is out of pocket this weekend, and so Jared's kind of sitting in. So give that a listen if you don't get a chance to get out there, because I'm sure those two will do a good job. They go back to their days as students at Vanderbilt and got some great chemistry there, I think. But this is gonna be a really good ball game, I think. I picked Oakland 35-31. I do think that they come back in and probably have had or will have had a great week of practice coming off of that loss to CPA, because teams like that, when they lose a ball game, they go back to work.
That's right. Stewart's Creek at Siegel. I've got Oakland, by the way, 38-21.
I've got 35-31, Oakland.
There you go. Stewart's Creek at Siegel. We stay in Rutherford County.
Yeah, well, in Region 4-5A, I think is what that is. You mentioned Stewart's Creek is a little pedestrian. I think you're probably right. I think Siegel is kind of on the outside looking in at postseason play right now, but I think this is an opportunity for the Stars to maybe play that spoiler role a little bit. And
especially after, they've had a couple of interesting wins. Green Hill, Lebanon, they like playing in Wilson County, apparently.
Yeah, but I think the Stars at home, I've got them by a touchdown here, 20-13.
I think the Stars as well, but I've got them 28-27.
So you see it a little bit higher scoring. Not as high as Casey Patrick, though. He's got Stewart's Creek 38-21. And it's interesting, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our panelists. 7 panelists have Stewart's Creek.
While Siegel is the Emily Spears pick.
But it's also Donovan Stewart's pick.
And
ours. Yeah.
So I've got the Stars.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And finally, Lawrence County at Tullahoma. I think a lot of folks on this panel here may be getting caught up in the names of these two teams and not the way that they played this year, because I've got Lawrence County and I've got them by 2 touchdowns.
It's been a tough year for Tullahoma.
It has.
They've had a lot going on down there this year. But I think, and I don't disagree with you. I think maybe people haven't necessarily been paying attention to what Lawrence County has been doing over the course of this year. David Marston has been there for
almost
20 plus years.
20 plus years,
I believe. This may be one of his better teams. I don't think this is a 2-touchdown game either way, but and I certainly don't, with all due respect, Casey, I certainly don't think it's a 24-point game. But I've got Tullahoma in this one. I've got them by a field goal, and I think they've got a kicker who can be a difference maker, and that may be what it comes down to.
1-3 in the region. I'm sorry, 2-3 in the region right now, Lawrence County. But their 3 region losses are to the most likely other 3 playoff.
Procon, Marshall County, Greenbrier.
And Greenbrier. Yeah. I mean, so, you win the next 3, you're in.
You're in.
I mean, you just.
Who do they finish up with after this?
Hillwood and Creekwood. Now, Hillwood, I think, is obviously a winnable game. Creekwood is a great defense. So I think but it'll be a lot of fun in week 11.
11.
Sorry, I almost said 10.
It's hard to believe this is week 9.
I won't talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. I've got Lawrence County 35-21. All right. And we move now to Southern Middle Tennessee, and Mostradamus puts on the hat, looks into his crystal ball, and tells us who's going to win down here in Southern Middle Tennessee.
No, before you go.
That's right.
We already talked about Nashville Christian and Columbia Academy. Excuse me. Columbia Central goes to Lincoln County in a must-win situation, basically, for Central in terms of postseason.
They got to win the last 2 to get in.
And their last 2 are at Lincoln County and then at home against Spring Hill, I believe. So you feel like they're both winnable. And I think Columbia Central goes to the pit and picks off the Falcons here in this one. I've got them 31-27. We'll see.
Yes, we will.
Let's see. You want to make a pick on this one, or you just?
I think Columbia Central gets this win as well, but I think it's just as close as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very close football game.
I think it is.
But I definitely think that having a guy like Dane Holly who can make you start from the 20 and flip the field on punts, and then a guy like Max Patton who can kick a field goal if necessary. So makes a big difference.
Yeah. Franklin County is at Spring Hill. As we stay in Region 6-5A play, and the Rebels 5-2 overall, 2-1 in region play. Spring Hill still looking for their first win. I think Franklin County gets this one and just continues to solidify their postseason opportunities.
Yeah,
behind Page and Nolansville in all likelihood.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you there. Franklin County's just got athletes all over the field. I expect them to win this one.
We talked about Richland and Forest. I've got the Raiders. This is not a typical season for Forest. This isn't a typical Forest team, I don't think. They've given up 40 points or more in each of their 4 losses, and I think that kind of dovetails with Richland's offensive ability. So I've got the Raiders in this one.
And I'm going to go with Richland as well. I think that offensive line is just too good. I mean, if they can push around Mount Pleasant's defensive line the way they did, they can push around just about anybody.
Speaking of Mount Pleasant, the 5-1 Tigers overall 3-0 in Region 5 2A play host 2-5 0-3 Summertown, and a win here would pretty much wrap up the region championship for Mount Pleasant, and I think they get it. I think this gives them an opportunity to maybe diversify their run game and maybe get some other running backs or get some running backs involved away from Nick Brown, maybe not expose him to so many hits because they're going to need him healthy.
Well, a lot of Nick Brown's rushing yards don't come off of
designed runs.
Now, he is not quick to pull it, but he certainly doesn't have any problem doing it.
He doesn't, but at the same time, I think they're probably going to need to call some more running plays.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just keep the clock running, hopefully, and keep the football in your hands. But Perez Carter is just fantastic, and he's a guy you got to utilize.
Perez Carter, Darian Meza, they've got some guys that can make some. Kevin Cooper. There's a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball for Mount Pleasant, but I think they take care of business in this one. And
I'd like to see them throw a few more perimeter screens, to be honest with you. I mean, just get those Meza and Cooper out in space. But I'm certainly not going to question Kit Hartsfield's offensive philosophy. I just feel like I would like to see them in more of those situations, not that it's going to make them any better or worse.
Hang on just a second, because I believe I've got Andrew. What is his last name? What is their offensive coordinator? Andrew Holcomb.
Oh, you got his phone number?
I got his number.
Can we see some perimeter screens?
I'm gonna let you give him a shout.
I mean, I'm just saying, I would like to see those guys in space as a fan, because it's electric when they get in it.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So that's kind of what I mean by that. Not that they need to do that to be any better. Heck, they're 5-1, 3-0 in the region, and ought to be in the top 10.
And unranked.
The reason they're not is ridiculous. So anyway, I think Mount Pleasant gets the win, wraps up that region as well. Should be a good one.
Yep.
All right. There you have it. Know before you go. You can find all of that on MainStreetPreps.com. You can find Nostradamus on there. You can find our staff-wide picks from across the mid-state. Should be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, we give you our college football picks against the spread. Should be a lot of fun. We'll talk more Alabama, Tennessee as we have their helmets right here very
prominently.
Prominent. Yes.
Yes.
I got my JSU, got your Middle Tennessee. Announced that Kennesaw State will be moving to the.
Is that a done deal?
Pretty much a done deal, yeah.
Awesome.
Kennesaw State heading to Conference USA as an FBS member, so that kind of sucks. I hate Kennesaw State. Now, we can't beat them. That's why I don't like them. We beat them this year, though. So
I tell you, I'm excited about Conference USA being in that Atlanta market.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It'll be a lot of fun and some good weekend trips maybe to go watch the Owls in our respective alma maters. But yeah, we'll get to some college football tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. Going to be a great show. We'll talk more. Scheduled to have Jim Dunaway of the Next Round from Birmingham on the show with us, so that should be a lot of fun as well. So he'll be on the road to Knoxville while he's talking to us. That'll be interesting.
Well, as long as he's not at Buc-ee's.
Exactly.
I'll be interested to know how he goes, because they're in Birmingham, right?
He'll have to go 2059 to Chattanooga and up 75.
So he'll miss Buc-ee's.
Depends on there's a Buc-ee. Yeah, there may not be a Buc-ee's on the way. I don't think
so.
So there you go.
That's unfortunate.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us as we talk show podcast in the Nashville market as voted on by the readers of the Nashville Fans. Tomorrow, college football. Follow us on Main Street today, MSN, Twitter, and much more. For now, we say goodbye. We'll see you.